Think you already know Pennsylvania? Even people who've lived here their entire lives have never seen the state's hidden side. Beyond the cities and the usual tourist spots, there's another Pennsylvania. One filled with massive forests, hidden waterfalls, forgotten towns, and landscapes that look like they belong in another world. And the craziest part is that many of these places are hiding right in front of us. Get ready, because these are the 12 most beautiful and hidden places in Pennsylvania that most people never get to see. Number 12, the Pennsylvania Canyon, Pine Creek Gorge. This place is as if the Grand Canyon had decided to move east and dress up in a coat of green pines and morning mist. It's a deep wound in the earth that stretches for almost 80 kilometers, but somehow mass tourism can't seem to find the main entrance. Walking along its rim, you feel the air change. It's denser, purer. It almost seems as if the trees hold secrets from centuries past. The rock walls plunge to a river that snakes like a silver ribbon below, where the echo of your own voice is the only thing that breaks the absolute silence of the forest. It's not just a beautiful sight, it's a reminder that nature has a scale that makes us feel tiny and awestruck at the same time. Imagine time standing still as you watch a bald eagle soar above the void, with not a single human soul around to spoil the moment with the roar of an engine. It's the perfect spot for those seeking to disappear off the map for a few hours and breathe the same air the pioneers breathed 200 years ago. The mist often lingers at the bottom of the valley until well into the morning, creating a sea of clouds that resembles a solid white ocean. It's a visual spectacle that stirs your soul and reminds you that true beauty doesn't need neon lights or expensive tickets. Here, the only currency that matters is your ability to walk and watch the sun play hide and seek among the canopies of giant oaks and the prehistoric ferns that carpet the ground. If you're looking for an escape where cell service is non-existent and the only reminder of the modern world is your own breath, this canyon is your private sanctuary. It's a corner of the world where the land seems to have been sculpted by gigantic hands that wanted to create a refuge far from the chaos of the big cities on the East Coast. As you walk along the moss-covered paths, the crunch of dry leaves underfoot sets the rhythm for an involuntary meditation. There's no rush, no notifications, just the steady flow of an ecosystem that has survived eras of climate change and human expansion. The geology here tells a story of infinite patience, where each layer of stone is a page in a book no one ever finishes reading. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to keep discovering the most incredible towns, places, and stories in Pennsylvania in every new video. Number 11, the Ringing Rocks Forest. In this corner of Bucks County, the stones don't stay silent, they respond when you strike them. It's an immense rock field that seems to have fallen from the sky. But the strangest thing isn't its origin, but its metallic sound. If you bring a hammer and strike one of these gray stones, you'll hear a clear, vibrant tone, as if you were hitting a molten bronze bell. It's a geological phenomenon that defies the common logic of anyone expecting the dry, dull sound of ordinary stone. Walking on this sea of rocks, you feel the ground beneath your feet possess a vibrant, electric energy that sends shivers down your spine. There is no vegetation in the center of the field, only thousands of tons of piled up rocks that resemble an unfinished jigsaw puzzle from a whimsical prehistoric giant. Scientists have tried to explain why these rocks sing, discussing the composition of iron and the internal pressure of the rock, but the technical explanation never quite captures the magic. It is an auditory experience that makes you feel like a child discovering a secret musical instrument in the middle of a cool, dark forest. Many visitors are perplexed to see that neighboring stones, which appear identical, sometimes remain silent, while at other times they sing with astonishing clarity, creating a random symphony that echoes among the trunks of nearby trees. It's a place that compels you to interact with the landscape, to not be a mere spectator, but a musician in a very strange natural concert. The atmosphere is somewhat unsettling because the forest surrounding the field of rocks seems to be observing in a profound, expectant silence. It's the kind of place where you expect to see a mystical creature emerging from the shadows at any time of day or night, drawn by the constant tapping of the drums by visitors searching for the perfect note. The atmosphere is dense and charged with a curiosity that compels you to strike each stone to see which one has the most beautiful voice of all. Few venture here, preferring more conventional parks, leaving this soundscape only for explorers seeking something off the beaten path. Here, time seems to have frozen in an era where geology was the only language. As you leave, the echo of metallic clangs haunts you, reminding you that the Earth still holds secrets that cannot be explained with equations alone, but must be heard with the soul. Number 10. The 7-story waterfall, Ricketts Glen. This park is a collection of liquid jewels hidden in a gorge that seems straight out of an epic fantasy novel from millennia ago. There are more than 20 waterfalls, but some are so secluded that they require real physical effort to find amidst the thick undergrowth and slippery, gravity-defying rocks. The water cascades down with a primal force that reverberates in your bones, creating a constant mist that keeps the moss green and shimmering like an emerald polished by time. It's a labyrinth of stone and water where every bend in the path reveals a new waterfall, each more breathtaking than the last. The trees here are true elders, silent witnesses to centuries of harsh winters and humid summers, stretching their branches like long, gnarled fingers toward a sky often tinged with a mystical gray. As you walk here, the deafening roar of the water becomes your only companion, instantly erasing any intrusive thoughts about work, debt, or the daily stress that so often clouds our minds in the city. It's a place that demands almost religious respect, as one wrong step could send you plunging into the icy, crystal-clear water. But that very sense of latent danger makes the beauty of the surroundings all the more intense and vibrant. Few places in the country manage to concentrate so much hydraulic beauty in such a small space. And above all, one so well preserved from the incessant noise of modern civilization. The tree roots intertwine with the rocks in such an intricate way that it seems like an eternal, silent struggle for space in this sacred corner of nature. It's a visual symphony of white and green that leaves you speechless, compelling you to simply sit on a fallen log and watch as the water patiently sculpts the mountain, grain by grain. Most tourists stay at the main viewpoints, content with the easy postcard view. But if you venture far enough along the less traveled trails, you'll find secret corners where the water seems to cascade in slow motion before your eyes. It's a complete sensory experience, from the intoxicating scent of damp earth to the biting chill emanating from the deep, dark pools at the foot of the waterfalls. This is where Pennsylvania proudly demonstrates that it has nothing to envy in the most exotic landscapes in the world if you know where to look. Number 9. The Maiden's Leap, Hickory Run. Imagine a river of boulders, stretching for nearly 600 meters, yet without a single drop of water flowing across its grayish surface. This is the boulder field of Hickory Run, a fascinating remnant of the Ice Age that resembles a giant, deliberate scar in the midst of an endless, dense, and vibrant forest. This is a place where the earth appears to have been bombarded by smooth, stony meteorites, creating a surreal landscape that feels more lunar than terrestrial at its core. Crossing this immense field, you must leap with precision from rock to rock, feeling your balance become your best friend as the wind blows unhindered across the open space. It is in every sense a stone desert where time seems frozen, a physical reminder of the brutal force of ice and the freezing and thawing processes that moved these colossal masses thousands of years ago. Here there are no marked trails or pre-established routes. Once you venture into the field, you are the architect of your own path through this labyrinth of granite, quartzite, and absolute silence. It's truly striking to see how the forest abruptly stops at the edges, as if the plants and trees harbored an ancient fear of encroaching upon this territory dominated by the dead, eternal stone. The true scale of this place is almost impossible to capture through a camera lens. You need to be there, standing in the middle of nowhere. The silence here is different from the silence of the surrounding forest. It is a mineral silence, heavy and ancient, that almost compels you to reflect on the brevity of human life compared to the permanence of the rock. Many overlook this corner, considering it merely a pile of stones. But those who linger and explore discover a strange peace, a raw serenity that is very difficult to find in the modern world. Here there are no digital distractions or urban noises, just you, the stamina of your hiking boots, and an expanse of rocks that seems to stretch endlessly under the afternoon sun. It's a corner of Pennsylvania that challenges you to move carefully and appreciate the stillness of a majestic world. At the end of the day, you leave with the feeling of having walked on the very backbone of the planet's geological history. Number 8. Centralia, the burning city. We enter the realm of the truly bizarre with a place that has literally been burning from the inside out for decades. Centralia was once a thriving mining community full of life and hope, but today it's a ghost town where the asphalt cracks and emits plumes of toxic gray smoke that sound like the size of an underground hell. A fire in an anthracite coal seam began in 1962, and since then has continued to burn beneath the feet of the few brave souls who refuse to abandon their homes. The streets are deserted. Most of the houses have been demolished for safety, and nature is slowly reclaiming what the fire couldn't completely consume with its invisible flames. Walking here is like being on the set of a post-apocalyptic horror film, where danger lurks beneath the surface in the form of lethal gases and sudden sinkholes. There's a famous section known as Graffiti Highway, which for years was a colorful canvas on the cracked asphalt. Today it's covered in dirt, but the aura of mystery and tragedy still hangs heavily in the hot, dense air. The ground can be warm to the touch in certain strategic spots, a constant reminder that the fire monster is still alive, dormant, and ravenous down there, devouring the coal that once brought wealth to the region. It's a place that both fascinates and terrifies, starkly revealing what happens when human error spirals out of control for over 60 years. The few remaining residents are like silent guardians of a graveyard of memories, living in a town the government tried to erase from all official maps and postal records to keep people away. It's striking to see how trees and weeds grow through the cracks of what used to be the living rooms of families who had to flee with nothing but the clothes on their backs. It's not a typical tourist destination. It's a stark warning about the fragility of our civilization in the face of forces we ourselves have inadvertently unleashed. Number 7. Gettysburg, the Field of Whispers. Gettysburg is not just a historical site. It's a shrine of stone and grass where the past seems trapped in an endless, melancholic time loop. Though thousands visit, few venture into the more remote corners of the battlefield as the sun begins to set and the shadows lengthen. It is in those moments that the place becomes secluded and intimate, revealing a poignant beauty that sends shivers down your spine without warning. The stone monuments stand like silent sentinels overlooking fields where more than 160 years ago the fate of an entire nation was decided. There's a heavy stillness here, a kind of silence that seems laden with the echoes of distant screams and the metallic smell of old gunpowder. Many visitors report eerie sensations while walking through Devil's Den or Wheatfield, places where the earth drank too much blood in just 3 days. You don't need to believe in ghosts to feel that this place has an energy unlike any other national park you've ever visited. It's a beautiful landscape of rolling hills and wooden fences, but that beauty is always tinged with the knowledge of the immense tragedy that occurred there. Exploring the less traveled paths, you might find small plaques dedicated to individual soldiers, reminders that each life lost had a name, a family, and a dream. It's a place for introspection, for walking slowly, and letting the magnitude of history envelop you like a heavy old wool blanket. The morning mist in Gettysburg often blankets the cannons, making them seem poised to fire again in a war that never truly ends. It is the historic heart of Pennsylvania, a place where time is a thin line and where the air always feels a little cooler than usual. For an American, this is hallowed ground, but for the curious traveler, it is a labyrinth of mysteries still waiting to be grasped. Number 6. Nature attractions and parks, the hidden splendor. Pennsylvania hides state parks that look like they've been plucked from a Swiss tourism ad, but which locals guard jealously like pirate treasure. Places like Ohiopyle offer whitewater that roars through deep gorges, where kayakers feel like ants in a washing machine. It's nature in its purest and most brutal form, far from paved paths and cheap fast food stands. You can hike for miles in parks like Cook Forest and see trees that were young when the first settlers arrived on these American shores. These forests are living cathedrals, with wooden columns soaring so high your neck aches trying to see where their verdant canopies end. The diversity of landscapes is astonishing, from mysterious swamps teeming with carnivorous plants to rocky peaks, where you can see 3 different states on a clear day. Most people stay in the cities, unaware that just a few hours away lies a world where black bears truly rule the land. It's a reminder that civilization is merely a thin veneer over a land that remains wild and powerful in its deepest reaches. The crystal-clear lakes reflect the sky with a clarity that seems like a mirror polished by unseen hands over millions of years of constant evolution. Here, luxury isn't 5-star hotels, but the ability to drink water from a spring or witness a meteor shower without artificial light. This is the Pennsylvania that doesn't appear on typical postcards, the one that requires muddy boots and a spirit unafraid of the solitude of the forest. Each park is a different chapter in a never-ending adventure story, offering everything from deep caves to visually gravity-defying cliffs. It's the green lung of the Northeast, a place where you can still get lost and find yourself in the process of wandering aimlessly. Those who ignore these parks miss the true essence of a state that is so much more than asphalt and old red brick. Number 5. Dutch Country, the Amish's Frozen Time. Entering Lancaster County is like stepping through a time portal to an era where the rhythm of life was dictated by the sun, not the digital clock. Here, the rural landscape is dotted with immaculate farms, where combustion engines are replaced by the muscle power of sturdy, black draft horses. It is home to the Amish, a community that has decided, with unwavering determination, that modernity is not necessary to achieve true happiness or spiritual peace. You'll see black horse-drawn carriages cruising leisurely along the back roads, a striking visual contrast to the modern cars speeding past without a glance, caught up in their technological frenzy. The air in Lancaster smells different. It smells of fresh hay, newly plowed earth, and a way of life that values manual labor above any artificial comfort. The local markets offer products that taste heavenly, made with recipes passed down through generations without a single ingredient changing, preserving the purity of traditional flavors. It is a beauty of absolute simplicity, of cornfields rippling in the wind like golden seas and white houses devoid of electrical wires connecting them to the outside world. But don't be fooled by the picturesque surface. there is a depth and mystery to its resistance to change that is fascinating to observe closely. It is a secluded world, not because of its geography, but because of its culture, a place where silence is valued more than the empty, noisy conversation of the 21st century. Walking these paths is to understand that there are other ways to inhabit this planet, ways that don't depend on the latest technology to feel complete. The wooden bridges, painted a bright red that stands out against the green, seem like gateways to a past that refuses to disappear despite external pressure. It's a landscape of order and discipline, where each farm resembles a detailed painting, executed with a precision that borders on absolute and pure visual perfection. However, behind this apparent calm lies a vibrant and complex community living by its own rules in the heart of a modern state. It's an experience that compels you to question your own needs and appreciate the beauty of what is essential and truly enduring. For the visitor, Lancaster County is a humbling experience and a unique opportunity to witness a lifestyle that is, in itself, a living art form and a statement of principles in the face of the chaos of the contemporary world. Number 4. Pittsburgh, the city of iron and bridges. Pittsburgh is a city that has shed its skin, transforming from a smog-filled industrial hell into a jewel of steel and gleaming glass. Located at the confluence of 3 mighty rivers, its steep hills create breathtaking vistas around every corner. Known as the City of Bridges, it boasts over 400 bridges connecting neighborhoods that feel like independent towns, each with its own unique and vibrant character. Entering through the Fort Pitt Tunnel, the city is revealed in a sudden burst of skyscrapers rising majestically from the water. It's a place of contrasts, where former steel mills now house high-tech centers and mind-bending contemporary art museums. Wooden funiculars called inclines still climb the hillsides, offering a journey into the past while you glimpse the future of architecture. There's a working-class pride that still pulses in the streets, a toughness that blends with a cultural sophistication that surprises first-timers. The neighborhoods are filled with hidden alleyways and endless staircases that connect different worlds, creating an urban labyrinth that is a delight for any attentive explorer. It's not your typical flat, boring metropolis. It's a constant ebb and flow of hills that forces you to always look up to get your bearings. The yellow color of its bridges is a trademark that gives it a coherent and powerful visual identity, perfectly uniting engineering with aesthetics. It's a city that feels real, that doesn't try to hide its industrial scars, but rather wears them like a badge of honor before the entire world. For an American, Pittsburgh represents resilience, the ability to reinvent oneself without losing the essence of what it means to work hard and with one's hands. It's a hidden gem in the sense that its true beauty is only revealed to those who dare to climb its highest hills. The blend of the river's natural beauty with the strength of steel creates an atmosphere that is both rugged and strangely elegant. It is without a doubt one of the most photogenic and underrated cities in the entire nation, waiting to be discovered by the right eyes. And remember to subscribe to the channel if you want to continue exploring the history, unusual places, and most fascinating corners of Pennsylvania. Number 3. Hershey, the Kingdom of Chocolate. Can a place literally smell like chocolate and simultaneously be a destination brimming with secrets and a fascinating, if somewhat strange, business history? Hershey isn't just an amusement park. It's a town built on the dream of a man who wanted to create a utopia for his workers. The lampposts are shaped like chocolate bonbons, and the streets have mouth-watering names as you stroll under the warm sun. It's a place that seems straight out of an industrial fairy tale, where sweetness is the currency and the air always carries a hint of cocoa. But beyond the roller coasters, there are corners of the city that preserve the elegance of the early 20th century with almost museum-like precision. The City Hotel is an architectural gem that dominates the hilltop, offering views of a community that was designed to be perfect in every detail. It's fascinating to see how the identity of a single product can shape the lives of thousands of people for over 100 years. There's a sense of order and well-being that feels almost artificial, as if you're walking through a movie set where nothing bad can ever happen. However, behind the sweet facade lies the story of Milton Hershey, a man who failed many times before building his sugar and milk empire. His botanical gardens are a secluded haven of peace, where thousands of roses vie for your attention while the scent of chocolate lingers in the distance. It's a unique sensory experience, a place where commerce blends seamlessly with philanthropy in a way that's hard to find elsewhere. Most people come for the sweets, but those who look more closely discover a profound lesson in urban planning and personal vision. It's the sweetest corner of Pennsylvania, a place where nostalgia is sold in silver foil wrappers and souvenirs are mass-produced. Strolling through its streets is to be swept away by childlike joy, a necessary escape from the often bitter and gray outside world. Hershey is proof that an entire world can be built from a simple idea, as long as that idea is sweet enough. Number 2, Philadelphia, the cradle of liberty. Philadelphia is the birthplace of the American ideal, a city of red brick and cobblestone streets that hold the DNA of an epic revolution. It's much more than a rocky statue or a steak and cheese sandwich. It's a labyrinth of history where every corner has a story to tell. You can walk the streets Benjamin Franklin once walked, feeling the weight of centuries etched into the facades of the colonial houses that still stand. Independence Hall is not just a building. It's the womb of a nation, a place where ordinary men dared to defy the greatest empire. But the true hidden Philadelphia lies in its neighborhoods, in the gigantic murals that cover entire buildings, and in the secret gardens tucked away behind stone walls. It's a city of firsts, the first hospital, the first library, the first zoo. Everything was born here in a burst of curiosity and human need. The energy is vibrant, a little rough around the edges, but always authentic, with a pulse that pulls you through its bustling, colorful markets. The alleyways of Old Town are so narrow, you can almost touch both walls with your arms outstretched, transporting you back to the 18th century in an instant. It's a chaotic and beautiful mix of modernity and antiquity, where glass skyscrapers gaze down upon the small wooden churches of the past. There's an aura of mystery surrounding its old cemeteries, where the remains of those who shaped the world as we know it today rest. Philadelphia demands that you walk it, that you lose yourself in its art districts, and that you discover the beauty in its smallest, most rusted details. It's a city that makes no apologies for being who it is, with a strong personality and a heart that beats with the pride of being the true historic capital. Every brick seems to hold a story of its own, and the air feels charged with a significance that's hard for any American visitor to ignore. It's the place where freedom became real, and that energy can still be felt if you linger long enough in its shaded plazas. Exploring Philadelphia is like reading a history book that comes alive and invites you to be part of its ongoing, ever-changing narrative. Number 1. The mystery of Pennsylvania Dutch country, the land of shadows. We've reached the highest point, a place everyone thinks they know, but almost no one truly understands in its darkest and most beautiful depths. We're not just talking about the Amish you see on postcards, but the deepest corners of Dutch country, where ancient traditions mingle with superstitions dating back centuries. There's a hidden Pennsylvania here, one of barns painted with hex symbols to ward off bad luck and tales of powwowing, or magical folk medicine. It's a landscape of bucolic beauty that seems perfect, but beneath the surface lies a silence that can be unsettling to the unsuspecting outsider. There are farms that have remained in the same families for 10 generations, where the outside world is seen as a distant noise, of no real importance to life. On foggy nights when the carriages disappear among the fields of tall corn, you feel you've crossed a border into a territory where the laws of modern logic don't always fully apply. It's the most mysterious place because it represents absolute resistance. A people who live in the heart of the most powerful nation in the world, but on their own terms. The communities here are like islands of time, floating in a sea of rampant progress, maintaining a precarious balance that is both fascinating and terrifying to observe. What secrets do they hold in those houses without mirrors and without electricity when the lights of the nearest city go out at night? There's a sense that they are watching from a moral and cultural distance that we can never bridge, no matter how hard we try as curious tourists. This is the most real Pennsylvania because it is the most human, the most stubborn, and the one that clings most tightly to its roots with a force that seems supernatural. At the end of the day, you leave with more questions than answers about what it means to live in freedom and community in the 21st century. Is it possible that they have found the secret to happiness that the rest of us have lost in our constant pursuit of technology and noise? The question remains open as the sun sets over the Lancaster countryside, leaving this corner of the world shrouded in a peaceful shadow, filled with unsolved mysteries. What do you think about 12 most beautiful and hidden places in Pennsylvania that most people never see?